Good evening, everybody. It is Angela at Miami InnerLight Spiritist Studies. Today is November 2nd. We are continue our studies of the book Thought and Life by the Spirit of Emmanuel through the mediumship of Chico Xavier. And today we are going to study Chapter 5, Education. I'm very sorry that unfortunately our link of Blue Jeans is not working. I don't understand what happened. It's the first time it happened. It's a problem, but I will fix it. So the next time we will be able to have better access, and we will be able to work as a group, because this is the profile of this meeting. We always work as a group. So it's not just me talking, but I can share information with our friends. We can listen to the questions, answer, and I love the participation. The participation is really the most important thing. But unfortunately, it's not working today, so we will do the best we can, what we have, and hopefully next time it will be perfect, and we will have our friends back listening and participating. If you guys are in Facebook, unfortunately, I never used this before, so I don't see you. I don't see your questions or your participation, but I will try to work. I will try to work here with you. So, as we always do, we start with this book. We start with the book Thought. Whoops, where? Here? Yes. We start with the book Thought and Life. But in the beginning, we do a prayer so we can calm down, relax, forget about all the problems that are happening, and we can be well helped by the spiritual guides. So wherever you are, if you feel comfortable, just relax, close your eyes, and we will do a quick prayer so we can start. Almighty God, beloved Master Jesus, thank you so much for the opportunity of again being here with our friends, wherever they are, being able to study a little bit about the doctrine of Jesus, be able to connect with our friends, and be able to improve ourselves a little bit more, learning the beautiful teachings of the Master Jesus and helping us to put in practice. And also with the beautiful studies of the Spirit of Emmanuel that brings for us in our lives here. Thank you so much, so be it. So if you are there, just a reminder, I like to have a bottle of water so the enlightened spirits can put our little medication for the week, so we will feel stronger, and at the end of the study, we can drink it. So if you have the book, we will be reading page 5. It's also in our Facebook page. I can share with you my screen. Let me see, how do I do it? I don't know. This is so bad because I really don't know how to manage this well, but it will be better next time. So I will read it. It's page 25, lesson 5, education. So Christ said, "Let your light shine," and it is He, the Divine Master, who is our sublime guiding light in the evolution of this planet. People used to believe that the Lord's advice was only a mystical call, urging superficial worshippers within orthodoxy to believe in the supposed individual prominence to be acquired after death, upon entering an imaginary celestial court. However, today we recognize that his lessons should be applied in all situations of everyday life. Nowadays, earthly science recognizes the presence of light in all places. A deeper study of the human body has revealed that it is more a vehicle of energy than it is a state of matter, a compound of infinitesimal particles, reciprocally attracting and repulsing each other, causing microscopic explosions of light. Chemistry, physics, and astronomy have demonstrated that terrestrial man lives and moves amidst a realm that is crisscrossed by rays. In this glorious domain of energy, we have our mental radiations conditioning the elements through which life is expressed. Though it is a creative force projected by the person who generates it by means of subtle waves in circuits of action and reaction. This is measurable as the photon, which on receiving impulse through the luminous system it produces, travels through space at a predetermined speed, thus sustaining the glowing breath of creation. Again, we say that human mind is a mirror of light, which projects and assimilates rays. However, this mirror is more or less a prisoner of the thick shadows of ignorance. Just as before excavating a precious stone is encrusted by the subterranean sediments. In order to be able to give off celestial irradiations and project its own brightness, it is indispensable to cast off this layer of darkness through a process of perfectioning and enlightenment. Hence, the real need of education for everyone. Let us also remember the words of the eternal benefactor when he said, "Let your light shine," meaning that the potential of light in our spirit should shine to its fullness. Such a state can only be reached through the kind of education that will offer the required improvement. But education that refines the intellect and improves mankind's inner world in knowledge and goodness, wisdom and virtue is not achieved merely by instruction from the outside. Rather, it must have the conscious consent of the will. When the will dedicates itself freely and spontaneously to goodness, without any constraints, it can liberate and refine the heart, imprinting on it a crystal clear image of the soul. The soul is then able to reflect the glorious life, subsequently transforming the mind into a precious powerhouse of superior energy, projecting reflexes of beauty and sublimation. So again, to the ones who are listening to me right now, I'm Angela from Miami InnerLight Spiritist Studies. We study online on Thursdays, bi-weekly from 9 to 10 as a group. But unfortunately, the blue jeans did not work today. So I am using for the first time Facebook, and I'm so sorry that I don't really know how to use it well, but I will do my best so we can continue our studies. We don't need to interrupt it. So this book that we are studying already for a few weeks, we are today in chapter 5, is really the book that Emmanuel created in the spiritual realm to help the spirits that will soon be incarnated on earth. So it's almost like a book they are studying to learn how to be able to come back to life on earth again in a better condition, learning how to deal with all the issues we have from now and from all our previous lives accumulated. So we are in chapter 5. We have read already about the medium, the acknowledgements, the introduction. The chapter 1 was the mirror of life, our will, chapter 2, cooperation, 3. And 2 weeks ago we read instruction, and today we are reading this beautiful chapter of education. So Emmanuel is very intense. He's tough. He's tough to understand sometimes, because his language is like, sometimes his language can be complex, so it can be difficult for us to understand. So that's why I really enjoy these conversations in group, so we can share what we are understanding or what we are not understanding. And today I will try to do it by myself. Oh, I see you guys. Oh, I see people here. Oh, wow, I'm learning, guys. I'm learning. So I'm going to do like Vanessa Anceloni. Franklin, let me see who is here. Franklin Cabral, Teresa, Sol. Oh, that's so nice. I wish so much I could be talking to you guys. Flavia, thank you so much. Carla, your first time. My blue jeans is not working. Very good, guys. So let's try to do. What I always do is like we do little by little. We go paragraph by paragraph, trying to understand, and we do it until 9:30. I lost a few minutes today because of the problem. So if you can follow the pages and on our Facebook page, the books are there. So education. So the first paragraph, so Emmanuel says, Christ said, let your light shine. So the ones that were with us the last time, we were talking about light too. We were talking about the energies. And I even gave the example of the little symbol that it's a half white with a dot inside and half dark with a white dot inside. So what I was explaining is that the half white and the half dark, meaning like, for example, a person that is very good person. So this person already dominated the dark forces within him or herself, meaning we all have it. We all have our issues, but we are able to dominate the darkness and make the light shine. And that's exactly the same light Emmanuel is describing. We need to learn. Hey, Kathy, welcome. We need to learn how to make our light shine. And sometimes we see horrible things, like we saw on TV in New York City a few days ago, when that person, unfortunately, we don't understand why, killed innocent people, pedestrians, people on bicycles. So what happens? That person at this moment, it has the darker side, bigger, with the little white dot in the middle. So that little white dot needs to shine. This needs to shine, this needs to bright. So it depends on us. It depends on us. But why is he saying this in education? So let's see why he's saying in education. So he continues saying that Christ said, let your light shine. And it is he, the divine master, who is our sublime guiding light in the evolution of this planet. So in Spiritism, we understand that Jesus was the most enlightened spirit who ever reincarnated on earth. And he is our model. He's our guide. So he came and he gave us beautiful, beautiful teachings that until nowadays we have a very hard time to follow. It's very difficult for us, but we really need to do it. We need to practice forgiveness. We need to be more loving. We have to be more charitable. And it's not very easy. So it's better for us when we get well inspired, when we see people that are already doing it. and we are able to do it too. So we need to learn. This is the process of learning, educating ourselves, educating our mind, educating our moral level. It's almost like the gym exercise. Little by little, we will get better. Just talking about the charity, I have to say this today, because today I met a man that's very, very special. And he works in a charitable institution here in Miami. The name of the institution is Camilo's. And this man, he is an amazing soul. He has this project for over 20 years that he feeds homeless. He used to feed the homeless on the streets. Now he's able to bring the food and feeds them in this shelter. So, as you must know, I'm continuing a project called Loving Bags for Homeless that is happening in New York for the 4th year. And we will start this year here in Miami for the 1st year. So I really wanted to meet him because he has been doing this for 20 years in Miami. That's a new city for me. And when I went there, I was just amazed with all his stories, with all his loving heart. He is so loving. And he was offering help to me. And I was like, oh my God, I want to help you. So I am praying that I will be able to do the loving bags for homeless, but I will be able to help him too. And he has amazing projects. He feeds the homeless with donations, but a lot of the portion of the things he really buys with his own money. So I'm full of ideas, dreaming that I can bring the teenagers that I know to volunteer there once a month. So this is like my process of educating my mind with good things. We can always educate our minds. We can educate our minds in the schools with good books and with good moral teachings. So if you see somebody that has beautiful moral teachings that are doing good things, let's share it. Let's show to the others. Let's learn with them and show to the others, because this will be good for us. This will be good for us too. So let's see what else. So he continues. However, today we recognize that his lessons should be applied in all situations of everyday life. And yes, that's what I said. We still have difficulties to apply the teachings of Jesus nowadays. Imagine how hard heads we are, that we still have to learn that we have to forgive, we have to be charitable, we have to be loving, and it's still hard for us. And he continues, a deeper study of the human body has revealed that it is more a vehicle of energy than it is a state of matter, a compound of infinitesimal particles reciprocally attracting and repulsing each other, causing microscopic explosions of light. This is like, whoa, that's unbelievable. It's like chemistry already happening here. So when he talks about particles reciprocally attracting and repulsing, so we know that in chemistry, the negative attracts the positive. But in Spiritism, it's actually the contrary. The equals attract each other. So one person has like this negative energy, heavy energy, difficult. They end up being attracted by others with the same type of mind, or what we say, vibratory energy. But the contrary, thank God, happens too. When somebody is loving, when somebody is trying to be good, trying to do something positive, is trying to be charitable, the good spirits help us to be able to find other people that are thinking like us. So we end up attracting. That's why it's so good for us to vibrate, always good, because we attract what is around us too. I'm not even talking about incarnated. I'm talking now about discarnated. We know spirits are everywhere. And when we are vibrating anger, when we are thinking bad things about certain people, we are attracting spirits that enjoy this heavy negative energy. So we have to avoid thinking like that. We have always to vibrate positive. If you cannot vibrate something positive to that person or to that situation, just don't think about that right now. Think about something else. So we will be attracting something good. That's why we have to be very careful with our thoughts, because our thoughts, they are not just thoughts, they are mental constructions. And that's the thing. We want to construct beautiful mental constructions. We have to be careful with this. And the one thing that I wrote here is that there is no darkness. There is absence of light. And it's beautiful. If you think like that, it's beautiful. It's not dark. There is no light there. But as you said before, let your light shine. And that's what we are trying to do. So then we continue here. Let's see this part here. In these glorious domains of energy, we have our mental radiations conditioning the elements through which life is expressed. So in this glorious domain of energy, this domain of energy is the whole universe. The whole universe is this energy that we are inside. And our mental radiations are there. So we really want our mental radiations to be positive. So let me see. I'm sorry, Daniela wrote something here. Go back to blue jeans. Already fixed our meeting. Really? Oh my God, I would love to go there, but I don't think blue jeans is working. I really tried. They said that I'm not accepted. I really don't know what's going on. And we are recording, so we will try next time. Okay, so please, if you guys want to say anything, if you want to ask anything, write. It's very different for me. I'm not new to this, but I would love to be able to talk to you guys, to listen to your questions. So we are talking about this mental energy of the universe. And then he continues. In circuits of action and reaction. That's the same thing I already explained. Action, reaction. So when you do something good, you will receive something good. But when you do something bad, it's more or less sure that you will receive something bad. It's a natural thing. So you really want to, if something bad happens to us, we have to break this. Because we know we are studying, we are trying to become better people. So we know that we cannot give back something bad. We have to give back something good, because then we break this bad connection. We break the thing that's bad and we give something good. And the person usually that receives this thing good is expecting something bad, and it gets very surprised. And then it's like, wow, wasn't expecting that. And then we are able to avoid fights or anything worse could happen. And then continues. Again, we say the human mind is a mirror of light which projects and assimilates rays. Okay, a mirror of light. Are we this light yet? That's what we want to be. We want to be this beautiful light that will be radiating even more light. Wherever we go, people will feel our vibration, our loving vibration. It's not our physical appearance that makes people like us. If they like us because of our physical appearance, awesome. But you know, what makes people really like us is what is inside of us. Because as I used to joke with my husband when I met him many years ago, I told him physical appearance is nothing. You are handsome now, but in 20 years, you are going to be a totally different man. And if I don't like what is inside, that's not going to last. And it is true for everything. It is true for everything. What is in our soul, in our heart, is what is important. That's what is really important. And that's where we have to keep it, to make this our symbol. That's what this most important thing that we have to cherish in our lives. We have to teach our kids, to demonstrate to our neighbors, our friends, because that's the most important thing. And then continues. However, this mirror is more or less a prisoner of the thick shadows of ignorance. That's exactly what I was talking about. The thick shadows of ignorance. So ignorance is very sad. It brings a lot of negative things. And especially when somebody thinks different than us, we have a tendency of being angry, being not upset, not being very happy with that. And we have a tendency of like, no, that's bad. And this happens to any kind of subject, but it happens a lot to religions, politics, any kinds of things that are very hot, very heated. It happens. And again, mentioning this man that I met today, I was a little concerned to let him know that I am a spiritist, because I knew he was Catholic. And I'm like, oh my God, he's making such a beautiful work. I really want to help him, but I can't avoid saying I'm spiritist because this is part of me, and somehow I will say that. So we were talking, and immediately I told him, I said, listen, I am a spiritist, but I really don't want to talk about religion. I don't want to talk about philosophy, because Spiritism is not a religion. It's really a doctrine of love. And it's Christian because we believe in Jesus. And his answer was beautiful. He said, our religion is love and charity. I was like, wow. I was so happy, so excited. I wanted to cry, because this is really accepting, is really embracing. It's really, that's why he does his job so beautifully, because he really loves what he does. And he said, I don't care about which religion or no religion. If we are doing good, that's good. And I said, yes, that's good. That's good. So I'm here helping him. That's very good. So he doesn't have these shadows of ignorance. So let me just check what time it is. 9:31. We don't have much time. So let's try to continue a little bit. I wish so much you guys were here with me. So he continues, let your light shine. Meaning that the potential of light in our spirit should shine to its fullness. And we know that every time we reincarnate, we learn. We are never going back. We are never digressing. We are always progressing. We are always learning more and more and more. And every time we reincarnate, we learn a little bit more. It would be really good if we could learn a lot. But it's hard for us. When we come back to Earth again, to this physical body, we forget everything we were studying. We forget this book that we were studying, the spiritual realm by the spirit of Emmanuel. And we come back sometimes to our same mistakes. That's why it's wonderful when we are working together with a group, trying to enlighten our spirits, trying to progress little by little. You know, sometimes we want to do so much, but sometimes it's worse, because when we want to do too much, it can be bad, because then we feel overwhelmed and we end up not doing anything. So it's better to do a little bit every day, constantly, strongly. And if you have a support of a group with you helping, that's even better. That's why it's so good to have a group with us. So if wherever you are right now, if you don't have a group with you, don't worry. Everything happens at the proper time. But as I also say, don't sit on your chair comfortable, hoping whatever you want will happen to you, because it's not like that. We have to do our part. We have to search. We have to search for something. So if you don't have a Spiritist center where you are, come here, do online studies. There are fantastic lectures online. Nowadays we have the technology that's such a blessing. The technology that brings lectures from everywhere and from so many languages. And we can always study together. But also think about charity. Searching wherever you live, how you could help a cause, how could you donate your time, because this is so fulfilling, makes us to feel so good, makes us to feel so happy. And we need this energy, we need this happiness within us. So try to feed yourself with this loving energy, this happiness. So just to finalize here, he continues, but education that refines the intellect and improves mankind's inner world in knowledge and goodness, wisdom and virtue is not achieved merely by instruction from the outside. Rather, it must have the conscious consent of the will. We learn about will. Will is our wish, our desire. We need to wish to do something. We need to use our force to do good. We need to use the same force to avoid problems. We have to learn how to shut our mouths. When from our mouths something negative is going to come out. When a problem happens, you have that urge to say something bad. Control yourself and don't say anything. I know that nowadays in our society, the people that fight or they say their last word, they are the winners. We don't need that. We don't need to win any battle. We are not in medieval times anymore. We are not battling with anybody. We are battling with our conscience. That's what we are battling. And we have been reincarnating to improve. So we need to continue this process within ourselves, avoiding confrontations with others. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't state our point. If we think our point is right, sometimes it's not right. But if we think our point is right, we should say it in a polite way, in a good way. I'm not saying to fight with anybody, but just in a polite way. And then we leave the fight, we leave the situation, and we let God to decide what would be better. But we shouldn't fight anymore about anything nowadays. And then he continues, when the will dedicates itself freely and spontaneously to goodness without any constraints, it can liberate and refine the heart, imprinting in our crystal clear mind of the soul. The soul is then able to reflect the glorious life, subsequently transforming the mind into a precious powerhouse of superior energy, projecting reflexes of beauty and sublimation. This is really the symbol of the diamond. The diamond, when it's encrusted on earth, is dark. It's like a stone, a dark stone. You only can see the beautiful, glorious, shiny stone after it's lapidated. It's not an easy process. It's a difficult process, and we have to be careful. It's tough. And this is the same thing with our souls. In the thousands of years ago, we were really like much worse than what we are right now. And sometimes we reflect on ourselves, we reflect on our personalities, and we think, oh, but I'm still so bad, I have so many negative things. But imagine how you were thousands of years ago. You don't even need to go there. I say 20 years ago for me, for example. 20 years ago, I was a totally, absolutely different person. So I'm so happy that I changed so much. And I have to say that Spiritism changed me, because Spiritism was able to show me the consequences. If I continue in this path, what will happen. Do you want that? No, I don't want that. If you read the books of the spirit André Luiz, you will understand what happened in the spiritual realm. There are so many books, beautiful novels, and you can understand what happened to us. You know, it starts with Nosso Lars, this first novel that talks about his own life. When he died, he was a doctor. When he died, what happened? And it's really beautiful. We all should read to understand. And we are this beautiful diamond that needs to be discovered, needs to start shining. So this chapter today of education, yes, we can connect education with beautiful books in schools, in colleges, but also beautiful books that help us, books from Spiritism that clarify the things that happen after this life, after the life incarnated. So let's educate ourselves. And you know, let's be careful to not lose too much time with frivolities of life. Yes, we can be addicted to Facebook, to WhatsApp, to soap operas, but we have to dedicate some time to what is really important. Is soap operas gonna help us with something? No, because usually it's like an invention of a mind of somebody else. Let's study something that we can improve day by day. I really like to read about biographies of people that changed the world. If you have a chance, read the biography of Mother Teresa of Calcutta. You are going to be in disbelief of how that little tiny woman was able to do so much. And also Gandhi and so many others. So enlighten your time with education. So now we are changing, we are going to the gospel according to Spiritism. So again, if you don't have the gospel according to Spiritism, you can go to our page on Facebook, our Miami InnerLight Spiritist Studies page, and the gospel is there. We are reading introduction number 2, and the last time we stopped on the third paragraph. So we will be reading today. My book is page 20. I don't know if you guys have the same book, but let me read here. Saul, what Saul is saying? Hold on. Let me see what is. This is so new for me. So Franklin, sharing with you guys a great guidance from an amazing spiritist and Professor Laércio Fonseca. Very good. Very good, Franklin. I'm going to take a look later on YouTube. And then Saul said, that's why we needed to educate our spirits, studying, praying, doing the good. Yes. So that way we can have peace inside of us. Perfect. That's the summary of the chapter. Yay, Saul, you're an awesome student. Very good, guys. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's go. Gospel. I will read the chapter, the paragraph, and then I will comment. And it starts in thus in reality. Okay. Thus in reality, the spirits themselves are the ones who do the disseminating with the help of innumerable mediums, who they are arousing everywhere. If there were but one interpreter, no matter how favored he or she might be, Spiritism would barely be known. Such an interpreter, whatever social class he or she belonged to, would have been the object of prejudice on the part of many. Not every nation would have accepted him or her, whereas the spirits communicating everywhere to all peoples, to all sects, and to all parties, have been accepted by all. Spiritism has no nationality. It lies outside all particular creeds and has not been imposed by any class or society. Since any person may receive instruction from his or her relatives and friends from beyond the grave. It had to be this it has to be this way, so that it could call all humankind to fraternity. If it had not placed itself on neutral ground, it would have maintained dissensions instead of placating them. So, in the beginning of the gospel, Kardec is writing, is telling us, is guiding us what is the Spiritism, how it happened, why it happened. And in this portion here, the chapter, the introduction number 2, the title is The Authority of the Spiritist Doctrine, Universal Test of the Spiritist Teachings. So it's telling us that the Spiritism came to us through spirits, that who brought the messages? The messages arrived to us through mediums. The spirits sent the message to mediums. And mediums are everywhere. So he's explaining that the mediums are people like us everywhere, from many different religions, creeds, social levels, languages, countries, it doesn't matter. Medium is that intermediary, that person that can receive a message from spirit. And they receive messages from spirits in many different ways. You know, they receive the message in their minds. In the beginning, sometimes they think they are imagining things. They can see, they can write. But most of the mediums Kardec used were the ones who were able to do psychography. They were able to write the messages from the spirits. And this is the beauty, because these messages came from everywhere. If these messages were coming from one person only, this person, first of all, would have a hard time to be able to spread this knowledge. And another thing is that this person could be accused of many things, could be accused of whatever, and would lose credibility. So that was the best way for the enlightened spirits to bring the teachings for us through thousands of mediums everywhere. And in the time of Kardec himself, he was not a medium. So he needed mediums to be able to get the message to give to him. That's why we call him the codifier, because he received thousands and thousands of messages from all over the place. Most of the messages from Europe. And Kardec, he spoke many languages, so he was able to translate these messages to French, his first language. So he was able to translate these messages. And with the time, he started organizing the messages by subjects. So he started connecting, all this message talk about this, all this message talk about that. And he started separating. And then he started organizing. He started organizing the codification for us. So Kardec was really this unbelievable spirit that came with this vast knowledge, but also with this capability of organization that's not normal. Is a high level capability of organization, because when you think about all these messages coming from all over in many different languages, he had to translate, he had to understand, and he had to go through his mind, his sense of knowledge, of morality, to see if that message was really good, and start separating what was good, what was not good, and what was good but was very similar to another one. So he started putting things together. So his work was like a immense work, was something very special, very special. Until nowadays, we think about it and we imagine, wow, what a huge job was this. And he did it beautiful. He did it beautifully. Just to remind you, In 1857, that's when he codified the first book, the Spirit's book. So that was the first book, the basic, with all the questions. And usually is the book that I recommend to people that don't know Spiritism. And I mentioned in this class a few times, when I do the gospel weekly with my husband and my son, my gospel now also has the Spirit's book, because my husband don't go to the Spiritist Center all the time. And it's very good for him to be able to understand a little bit better what it really is, Spiritism. So we do a longer gospel, and we incorporate the Spirit's book in the beginning. And it is awesome, because I like him to think about something and open the book randomly. And every time it opens, he reads and he's like, wow, really? I had never thought about that. Or I had no idea it could be like this. Or it gives us food for thought. Because then from that little question that he did not understand, we go through and I start talking about, and I start giving stories, and I start flourishing his imagination. And I have to say that he's very open-minded. He's Protestant, but very open-minded. And lately, he has been coming more often to our new Spiritist Center, and I'm very happy. So if you can recommend the Spirit's book to people that don't know well Spiritism, it's great. Because what happens is sometimes we give romances that we love romances. And we give romances and they don't understand. I remember one time I gave to my mother Nosso Lar, and I was so happy because I'm like, oh, she's gonna read. She never reads. She doesn't like to read much. So I gave her Nosso Lar, and I was so excited that she's finally reading. And when she finished, I asked, Mom, what did you think? And then she said, honey, I'm sorry, but this idea that buzzes fly after we die, it's kind of weird. So it was very difficult for me, because for me it was so natural, and for my mother it was like totally insane. So the Spirit's book was better, because there were questions that she really didn't understand also, so it helped her. But just continue talking about Kardec and the books of decodification. We have the second book is the Medium's book, and this book was completed in 1861. So the Medium's book, it's so important. Oh, we have new people here. This is new for me. I never did this live thing before. So very good. Nice to see you, Tammy, Zelda. I miss you guys. New York, Connecticut. Oh, I miss you so much. I'm here in Miami, but I love you guys. So continue. So the Medium's book is this book that helps us to understand what is mediumship, how it happens, why it happens. You only connect with good spirits. So it has all these beautiful and very important answers for all of us to study. We can read also, but if you really want to better yourselves, and as we read the previous book today, education, we should study. We should study the codification, because they are the most important books for all of us. The third book is the Gospel. This one that we are reading is from 1864. So it analyzes and helps understand all the teachings of Jesus, and also the parables, that sometimes the parables were confusing. It's very difficult language, this very romantic language, or that we couldn't really understand. And the Kardec helps us with the enlightened spirits to be able to digest it, to understand it perfectly. Then we have Heaven and Hell, 1865. It's a beautiful book that tells us stories, many powerful stories of discarnated spirits and what happened to them. So they come to tell us what happened to them. So it's a book that people read, oh, heaven and hell, no, I don't want to read that. It's beautiful. It demystifies this idea of heaven and hell. Heaven and hell, it's not a physical location. We have to understand that everything is within us, is within our state of mind. We can, even incarnated, we can be in a beautiful place, we can be in a fantastic location, imagine in a mansion, but our minds could be like in a state of hell, could be like desperate. So even here incarnated, we can be like that. And that's what we want to avoid. We want to be always in a very good mindset. I'm not saying that we are going to live in paradise, because we live in a difficult times. We understand this is a time of transition to the planet, but to all of us. But we have to have faith. We understand that nothing happens without God's permission. So we will go through whatever might happen to us with faith and with the help of our friends and with the help of the Spiritism, and that we will make a better world. And it is possible. And as I love to say, yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can do our little tiny seed of love. We can plant our little tiny seed of love and make it shine, make it, like we were talking about, the light shine, make our light shine. And the last book of the codification is Genesis from 1868. That is the most complex book. It's, for me, it's like very scientific, but it's so important. So all these books are very important for us to understand, to study. And because sometimes these books can be difficult to study, that's why we encourage people to be able to join Spiritist centers, wherever you are, or online, so you can learn more about it. And then you can start putting these teachings in practice. And you can better yourself, help your friends. Everything can be so much better. Let me see what's happening here. Just checking. TSS meeting right now. Oh, I miss Tri-State. I miss all of you guys from the Tri-State. Say hello for me, Elder. So I wish so much we could be together as we were in Blue Jeans, so I could be listening to you guys talking and making comments and asking questions. But I will make sure I will fix Blue Jeans. So in 2 weeks, we can have our normal meeting without any problems. I will get connected even earlier to be able to avoid these issues of not being able to have our group meeting, that I love it so much. So my friends, today I would like to stop right here in this paragraph. So next week we will be reading the paragraph, this universality in the Spirit's teachings is what comprises the Spiritism power. Because it's important for us to talk. It's important for me to listen to you if you really understood it. So we are not in a hurry to finish this Spiritism online class. So it's okay. We do little by little, but we are progressing. We are always progressing. So let's stay here on page 21st for today. And I really would like to say thank you to all of you that were here. That was so good. I'm so sorry I couldn't do the Blue Jeans. It will work because we can. Yes, we can. Remember. So whenever you are facing some kind of difficulty, some kind of trouble, some kind of problem, do not put your head down and say it's okay. No. In this point, that's when I say you have to fight against the odds to make this happen. To fight in the sense, not to fight with people, but to find other ways to make it happen. This week I was listening to a lecture of Anete Guimarães. I'm just saying that because we still have 2 minutes. And Anete Guimarães was mentioning the minds of the people who are losers and the minds of people who are the winners, for example. And she gave a beautiful example of an event happening, and they needed milk, and something happened. All gallons of milk broke, and they were all over the floor. And most of the people in this event, they got desperate, fighting, trying to discover who broke the milk, who did this, who did that, how you're gonna pay, all kinds of things. And one person didn't care about who brought, who destroyed, who whatever. One person said, what I'm gonna do? What I'm gonna do now to resolve the issue? And that person start calling others that were not there and start asking, it's a desperate situation. Would you be able to bring me milk? How many gallons you can? So you would help me? And the friends start saying, yes, yes, yes. And they brought milk. And the situation was resolved. And afterwards, he went to discover who did or who didn't. But as she mentioned, this is the difference of the loser and of the winner. Because the winner thinks about solutions. Don't think about the things that happen already and the problems and who caused it. But so let's to do it. And that's exactly the same thing that happened today when blue jeans didn't work. Oh my God, what I'm gonna do? Option, plan B, Facebook Live. I have never done it, but first time, we always have a first time for everything. So my friends, I would like to invite you now to do our final prayer. So we have a guest here, Jansen. So we would like to invite you just to relax, close your eyes, and we are going to thank God for the beautiful minutes we had here tonight. So, dear God, all our guardian angels that are here with us, all the good spirits protecting, inspiring us, thank you so much for your presence. Dear Master, at this moment we would like to send this loving, bright energy to all our friends in their homes that are listening to us, so they can feel this energy, they can relax, they can feel loved, and they will have a wonderful night. They will wake up in the morning feeling stronger, feeling accomplished, and knowing they can do a little bit better day by day, improving themselves, but also everybody else surrounding them. So please stay with us through this whole week and help us to come back more and more and more. Thank you so much. So be it. So my friends, thank you so much. Interruptions. So drink your loving water, and I will be seeing you in 2 weeks. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you so much for being here. See you soon. Bye-bye. Thank you, Sol. Thank you, Carla. Thank you, guys. See you soon.